Street cred sports. Street cred sports. I'm crossing over. I'm Euro stepping.
Hello, this is Keenan, the Street Cred Sports Training, and welcome to another episode of Time to Ball. My guy,
Lee Williams. Those Lee's in the building.
Every time you say it, I just see you. Lee Williams. This is episode 105.
Okay.
We chugging along and kind of cool it off a little.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, we don't have that glistening sheen on our forehead that's blinding you because it's a little warm in here. But I'm trying to make some things better. So how you been, man?
Man, good, man. Just really trying to get through this, allergy season's hit me pretty hard. So, y'all excuse my voice and my sniffles.
I learned my lesson. I didn't realize I had allergies until like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And then they was like, yeah, you got allergies. And I was like, how do I got allergies? Like, you just don't get allergies. And they explain, you know, your body go through changes and stuff.
Right.
So it went from me taking a pill only like a seasonal. So I would take a pill every day from like, you know, March to like June.
Right.
And then again from like September to like November. And then there's a nasal spray that I can use that helps as well.
Yes, sir.
But like when I was sick, it was because I didn't start taking the pill before.
Yes, sir.
You know, so
yeah,
I get it, man. I got right back up. My body was like, hey, since your ass don't know how to follow directions,
I'm gonna get this to you. I'm gonna get this to you.
We gonna let you figure this out for a little while. See how that Time to Ball podcast go when you can't even talk.
That's where I'm at right now. So y'all forgive me on that one.
Oh man. All right, so we're gonna start with things that interest us. And the first thing we're gonna start with is the Tush Push.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who don't know what the Tush Push is, it's a football play that the Philadelphia Eagles use in short yardage situations. So if it's like a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, or if they're on the goal line, they get in this real tight formation. And it's basically a quarterback sneak. But what elevates it is if the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, is not quite getting in enough push, then the running backs or whoever's behind them, they come in and push them, and that's how they get the first down. So that's why it's been called a Tush Push. But it's been a lot of issues with it, and now the new issue is that there's a false start. Now, if there's a false start, I get that. You got to call that, but I'm kind of like, yo, stop it. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the problem I have is it wasn't a problem until they started winning.
Right.
You know, it wasn't a problem until it was deemed unstoppable. And so it's unstoppable, not just the play per se, but the personnel that they have.
Right.
And so you know, like to me, it's kind of weak. It's kind of corny for teams. The only teams that are complaining is ones that got to play them.
Yeah.
The Rams and, you know, all those teams that are in the division are complain so much that the league has talked about this summer, this past summer, banning it. And so it's like, and they're saying, hey, it's a football play, stop it. You know, so then they came up with rules where you can pull, but you can't push. So they just said they did away with it maybe a few years ago.
Right.
So now, like, man, just it comes down to mano a mano. Right. My strength against yours. I mean, you know it's coming, right? So figure something out to do something about it. And so, especially when you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, who, you know, squats over 500 pounds, bench presses 3+, you know, he's a different dude.
Right.
And so I just think, like, stop it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I like. It's not like they're the only team that's able to do it.
Right.
They spend a lot of time on it, and they almost kind of specialize in doing it, and they take pride in doing it.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing. Now, what I didn't know was I was listening on Sirius XM on the NFL channel. I actually love their channel more than any other sports.
Really?
Because they're constantly doing breakdown.
Okay.
They're not talking like about their feelings and this guy. If they talk about you, they're talking about what it's shown, like your passing, why you made this pass and that pass.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't know that.
What they broke down was they said that this play it was outlawed or it wasn't a thing until they allowed it a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And they said, they said, even if they weren't allowed to do it, Jalen Hurts would probably still be 95 to 97% effective. Right. Because they go back to Tom Brady's. When Tom Brady was doing, the quarterback sneak, how effective he was. So they were saying, like, it's more of some people are just upset. I'm kind of like, well, why don't you stop them on first and second down?
Yeah, well, yeah.
They're not going for it if they got 3rd and 6.
But it boils down to get your coaching up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I mean, as something that you would say, kind of your mindset would be, man, you're pro. Stop crying.
Yeah.
Like, let's handle it. You know, there's teams that have an advantage, and it takes people a while to catch up.
Yeah.
And
and that's like with everything. At some point, now I will say, last year, maybe the middle of the year going into this year, it hasn't been as dominant when they've done it. Mm-hmm. You seen, like when Kansas City was lining up, you saw them really almost stop it to where you had to look and say, oh, like, did they get it? Before
right.
It was, man, yeah, they just pushing. It was too easy. Now, here's the question I have. If they decide to stop it, right? If they say, okay, no more tush push, then I feel, and this is my opinion, they need to take it a step further. Because how many times do you see where a running back or a receiver catches the ball, they're running, one DB or somebody hits them, and they're both trying to push, right? He's trying to push them back, he's trying to go forward. Then you have another player come in, and it turns into a pile. Then you always see the lineman coming up from behind, and they're pushing the pile. It's the same thing.
Agreed. And you know what? That's a great point. The thing is, like, what are you gonna call? You gonna call 10-yard penalty? What are you gonna?
You gotta call. Whatever rule you push for the tush push, you have to put that, because the rule was you couldn't push it. You couldn't assist the player.
Right.
So if you can't assist the player there, then a 30-yard pass play, if it's dead, what the referee should call is if it's forward progress and stop, you need to blow that whistle fast.
Right.
They kind of try to let it play out. Sometimes you got players trying to punch the ball out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the player is seemingly not moving back, kind of inching forward. But those other players, hey, if it's two players like that, how do you allow gang tackling? Because if two other guys come in and tackle them, then offensive, they gonna say, hey, no, we got to help our guy.
That's the problem. You have one player engaged with the ball carrier. The next player is coming to push. So it's not going to be banned. I don't see it. The league office will tell these guys to pipe down. And I mean, that's what it's going to be. And I think the biggest thing is these teams are trying to, the league has said, hey, where's your data as if this play is not safe?
Right, because there is none.
There's no data.
There was. Now it's an unfair advantage. Now, I want to know what's the over-under on false starts that they're going to call on them today against the Rams? How many you think? Over-under is 3. Well, how many you think?
Let's say they do the tush push 3 or 4 times. It's going to be 2 false starts. I guarantee.
All right, let me write that down.
I guarantee.
Over, under 2.
But Philly's smart enough to know that they're going to do that, so they may. They'll have some. Listen, one thing I know about coaches, especially at that level, they've always got plan A, B, or C. Yeah. So, and they know you're complaining, and they know officials are going to be, their sense is going to be heightened.
Right.
So they have a plan B. Right. I would hope.
So we'll see about that. We'll see. All right, so this next topic is just something that's always drove me crazy, man. I
Talk to me.
It's my opinion, right? So it's not like there's just something wrong. It really trips me out when a defensive back is on, there's a play, whether it's a long pass or it's an out, and quarterback throws it. When the receiver catches the ball, and then the receiver drops the ball without any assist from the DB, so he didn't hit him or anything. And then they start celebrating like they did something. And I'm like, dog, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You just
Look, it happens every game. Every game. Like, these DBs are, in my mind, DBs they're wired differently.
Yeah.
Wired very differently. But, like, they'll celebrate anything. And it's really just to get in that person's head.
I guess. I guess.
Like, some of them didn't even hit the guy. And he drops it, and they're late getting there, and they're jumping up and down. It's just crazy.
One of the most egregious ones was the receiver juked him,
Right.
and turned and went out. DBs went the other way. Realized he went the wrong way, turned around. The pass was there. He caught it, and then he bobbled it, and it went out of bounds. Right. DB ran up like, celebrating. I'm like,
man.
And I want to say, it looked like the receiver turned around and said, your ass wasn't even in the play. Right. You didn't have nothing to do with that. So I'm like, come on, man. And I get, that's a great point what you said. It's probably trying to psych the player out.
Right.
Maybe they're trying to hype, continue to be hyped. But I'm like, dog, if I'm watching film, I'm like, I love the enthusiasm, but you need to affect the play. If you didn't affect the play, you shouldn't be.
No doubt. I couldn't be a receiver.
No,
because I would literally put that clip on my Twitter, on my social media, and start highlighting these guys.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But then that would probably get me targeted a little bit much. So.
But you know what? Like, I'll say this: the everybody's like bulletin board material. You shouldn't say this because now you're giving them material. Man, if you go out and do your job and do what you're supposed to, I don't give a damn about them putting it up because they still got to stop me.
No.
So if they can't stop me, I would rather trash talk. Although I'm not a trash talker. Now, I mean, I'm a trash talker.
Okay, I
never started trash talking.
I'm the same way.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and you looking at me like that, and you was just as bad, if not worse.
Well, I will own that. Okay. I was blessed with a high level of trash talking. Like my thoughts come very quickly. But I never started. Like I never started. I just thought it almost psychs me out when I started because when I played, I'm just trusting my game.
Yeah.
I didn't. You have some, regardless of what sports, they trash talk to get an advantage because they don't have one.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I really just trusted my skill set. And the minute I saw somebody talking, now my senses are heightened, and I'm just creating all kind of scenarios and having everybody laugh, even his teammates laughing. And so, there's been a couple of cases where I've shut down a couple of gyms. But thank God for maturity and age.
Yeah, that helps, boy. You can't trash talk the way you used to when you're older.
No, sir. No,
but
crossover too slow.
but in any case, you still got to get out there and play the game.
Absolutely.
You can't be so worried about the fact that you said something that's on book. Now, you can't be trash talking if you're not going to be playing in the game. You got to be quiet.
That's true. Now, I will say this. Just from a coach's perspective, I see it from a coach's perspective and a team. When I put something out there and I'm trash talking before the game, similar to what they were doing to the Eagles. I don't know what team was doing that to the Eagles. It was just crazy. Today, you'll see it. I don't know if I don't think it was the Rams, but anyway, I just feel like it really doesn't focus on the game, and it just becomes a distraction.
Right.
Depending on who's doing it. Like when T.O. used to do it, and I'm a T.O. fan, I think no one had a problem with what he was saying. They just had a problem with the timing and how loud he was about it.
Yeah.
I think it just caused a lot of distractions. And when he was with the 49ers, they're not an organization that typically talks trash.
Right.
So,
but you got to know that because you knew he was like that when you draft.
For sure. But you also as a player have to know what kind of organization you're going to as well. So I think it goes both ways. But you don't want to be deemed selfish and putting attention somewhere it does not belong.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. So
I know you with it. hey, this dude got a grocery store that he wants to design to get the customers beat up. This guy here. So I'm not
trying to get
all about it.
Don't say the customers get beat up. I'm not trying to get the customers beat up. I'm trying to get the ones that are obnoxious, put something in their head about understanding how they need to act, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Like, hey, if you know that stove is blazing hot, you're not gonna touch it.
That's true.
Right?
Hey, politically said. I'll say that. Well said. In other words, customers, you go to his grocery store, watch yourself. Be prepared.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and then we're going to be back with more. All right, so we're back with our basketball ideology. All right, so a couple of things that have been kind of on my mind, some stuff that's happened this week. I always try to relate the basketball ideology from situations that I dealt with throughout the week. First situation I dealt with was players that are struggling once they get past the first level of defense.
Okay.
Right? So what I mean by the first level of defense, I call it point of attack. Mm-hmm. It's the first defender that's right in front of you. So if you had a ball on the top of the key or on the wing or on the corner, wherever, that initial defender that's on you, whether they close out or whether they're already on you, that's the first level of defense or first line of defense. Once you get past them, whether it's a pump fake jab or whether you do a move and get past them, there are extra levels of defense. Usually the second level is that second help, and then the third level is probably the additional help if you get past the second. Now,
right.
You can put however you want, whatever term you want, however many layers of defense that come. But some of my players were having problems where they would get the ball and they'd make their move and then they dribble all the way in the paint, and they would get crowded and stuff and make a bad decision.
Right.
So what I had to explain to them was, first and foremost, before anything else, you need to know what defense they're playing.
Absolutely.
Right? You need to know whether they're in a man or a zone.
Mm-hmm. Okay?
A lot of times, and unfortunately, I know we've talked about this, and it's been a big thing about teams playing a lot of zone. The fact that teams are playing zone so much, you're dribbling in. So I have to explain to them, like, it's crazy. A lot of players don't know why teams play a 2-3 zone versus a 3-2 and stuff. So I explained that to them. And for those of you who don't know, reasons why you play 2-3 zones is primarily because the traditional reason was the team that you're guarding against, they're poor shooters from the outside. They can't shoot outside. Or usually if that team has a big and you're trying to front and help, give that person down low some help, you zone it up. You force everything to be shot from outside. So you're not going to get lots of layups against the 2-3 zone. So I had to explain to them, once you leave that first level of defender, If it's a zone, you need to be shooting a pull-up jump shot or a jump stop floater, right? Now, if it's a man-to-man, you need to understand how to, I call it pre-reads. So if I know what my offense is, and I know where my offensive players are going to be when I catch this ball, I should also know where those defensive players are that are guarding them, right? So I'm pre-reading to where as I'm getting ready to catch it, I can pretty much see, who's going to be looking to come and help and all of that stuff, and understanding where the path of least resistance will be if I'm going to drive. And obviously, younger players aren't equipped to see it. So I have to try to help them navigate those things.
Yeah. I agree with every point. The struggles become different depending on what level you're at.
Yes.
Collegiately, that's just about film.
Yes.
Like you really got to get in the film room. You really got to study. From high school on down, it's really about that imagination,
Yeah.
Being able to, I know where I'm from here, kids love to just run the space and not really have any tools or a plan, just kind of run the space. And as you said, look for a layup. The pull-up is something that you have to use it as a weapon. It's going to allow you to get those layups at some point. But, what I've tried to help with a few of my kids, and we're going through a workout, I'm not training, just a workout, is, okay, look, when you make a move, let's say we're working on a jab attack, all right, and you beat the first person, use your mind to create where the defense could be.
Yeah.
Don't do the same move every single time.
Right.
Mix it up. So you got to have an arsenal, when you come into this, is what we call the midi, which is the mid-range area. You got to have an arsenal, kind of what you said. We like to play on 2 feet, kind of like Jalen Brunson, to play off 2 feet, because now my options are wide open. I can pivot, I can turn, I can up and under. So it's just really, and then high school, I'll be honest, studying game film will be the difference between your team winning 3 to 5 more games.
Right. I wonder how many high schools actually have game film days.
On the girls' side here, there's not very many. So my thoughts are, there's a difference between watching the film and studying the film.
Yeah.
So with all due respect, what I've heard is they will send the film out and tell the players to watch it. And the typical high school player will just watch themselves, and they won't watch what could have developed or what didn't develop and all those things. So, they're focused on, hey, I remember I made this shot over here, and they're just looking at the shot that they made, not how they got to it or what else could they have gotten to.
Do you think that there should be a one-day group film study where they're breaking the play down and they're not really attacking players, but they're pointing out the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Yeah, when I was a head coach at the high school level, we had specifically 2 days of film, because we're working on 2 different opponents that week. So we had 2 days of film. Typically, Wednesday was if we didn't have a tournament, that was our film day. And then probably Saturday or Monday was a film day as well, because it was a bit lighter because we have a Tuesday game. What I had everyone really understand that I'm not calling you out, I'm really calling you up. And what you're going to do is help the younger players. You're going to help someone else that's playing the same position as you. And also what I do is I'm very loud about the really good plays. Like I hound on that. Some things that players have done is collegiate. I said, this right here is college. This is what we're doing in college. Watch this gentleman here and see how he did this and this and that.
Right.
And so what that does, it takes the embarrassment, takes the pressure off. And what I do is say, stop it. We go through it, stop it. I'll say, okay, I'm sorry, Johnny. Johnny, you know, what do you think could we have done to avoid this?
Right.
And let them speak on it.
Right.
And that way it's not me just berating them and hounding on them. And ask anybody else, hey, anybody have any other ideas besides me? And sometimes we've had some great ideas because they know it's a safe environment.
Right.
It's a safe environment and they can really speak on something that they feel they know, or they have an idea, or maybe something they really don't know. They say, Coach, I didn't understand that. Can you go over it?
Right.
And it just makes for a very, very productive environment,
Right.
and kids play better.
And I think it's one of those things where I think it's the tone and how the coach, if it feels like the coach is belittling. I give you a story. I had a kid that played at Santa Teresa, and this is early when I first started doing this training.
Okay.
Right? And it was the year Santa Teresa won the state.
Okay.
Okay. So one of their best players, I was, training him. He comes and he messages me. He's like, well, coach was killing me and yelling at me and getting on me, and he took me out of the game, and he's all this and that, and I don't understand and everything, and and I was like, well, I said, bring the film over. We'll take a look at the film.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts the film over. I say, cue it up to where you're talking about.
Okay.
He cues it up. I don't say anything. I just watch it. And then afterwards, he stopped. And then he's like, you see what I'm talking about? And I looked at him. I said, I would have took your ass out too.
Mm-hmm.
So the look was like, huh? I said, okay, so let me go back so you can see. So he's on the block and he's a guard. The person he's defending goes up and sets a screen.
Okay.
Right? Goes up to the wing. He sets a up screen. He doesn't call out screen. Right? That's the first thing. So then as he screens, that player's guy is going, cut into the basket. He doesn't bump or stop or go with them initially. Then when he realizes that he should have switched because his teammate's not going to be there, he finally runs there, which is late, and he fouls him for a three-point play.
That's three mistakes in 1 second.
He was so upset and consumed with the fact that he called him out. But when I sat there and I said, okay, so I went through it. I said, all right, so right here, what's the first thing that you didn't do? And he looks and he's like, oh, I didn't call a screen. I didn't let him say it. I said, okay, that's number one. Okay, all right, we can get past that. You don't call it. Then what should you do? Well, I should either call switch, I should bump, or bump him to allow my teammate to get through, or I switch, right? Okay, all right, so that's two.
Yep.
I said, then after all of that, what was the last thing you did? He's like, I was late because I thought I thought he was gonna get through,
Right.
but he didn't. So I went ahead and switched, but I was late. I said, yeah, but what happened because of that indecisiveness you displayed in that point, 4/10 of a second? He said he got in front of me, so when he shot it, it was a foul and one. I said, so I looked, I said, so I asked you, if you're coaching and your player does that, are you going to kick him out? He's like, yeah, I get it. I said, I know what it was. It was his tone and how he called you out, as opposed to just pointing it out to you.
Right.
Now, during the game, you can yell and scream and take him out. But I've always been a big proponent of, as a coach, you need to, once he sits down, you need to explain to him why. And that was what was lacking, and that's what set him off. Was the fact that he just yelled at me and took him and stuff. It made him a better player, because I taught him some coaches aren't like that. Some coaches aren't gonna teach you and help you. Some are just gonna yell and expect you to know it. And you're going to have to do a better job filling in those gaps.
Right. Great point. I mean, you know, a lot of times it's hard for a younger player to not focus on how the message was said, but focus on the message.
Right.
And sometimes when it's your best player, like, you know, it's embarrassing.
Right.
It's embarrassing. And so
Right.
I'm glad you did that, man, because like shouldn't say most, we have some of us, and I say club coaches, trainers, whatever, that are trying to find holes in the high school coaches' game or coaching style, and it's a negative connotation. I'm glad you flipped it and supported the coach. I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
we need a lot more.
Yeah, and look, I've always tried to pride myself on being real and honest.
Yeah.
If it was the other way, if he tactfully did everything correct, and I've had that, where players have brought me film and I've watched it and I've said, you know what, you didn't do anything wrong on here. I said, but then I say, I think he might have saw something different and assumed what it was, as opposed to just knowing and understand. I said, now, when you're in practice, you can talk to him and say, Coach, hey, you were on me about this play.
Right.
I was here. Was I not supposed to be here? Because I watched the film, and in the film, I was where you told me initially I should have been, but you were getting on me. And then sometimes coaches will turn around and say, you know what? I looked at it wrong. You were right. Other times they might say, yeah, but I wanted you to do this. And that's when I'll explain to players. Sometimes, you know, coaches might assume that you're going to be able to make a thought and move and adjust without them having to tell you, right? So I've done it both ways, and I see what you're talking about, because it is very important that you maintain and let them know, like, yeah, nah, you were wrong.
And I was just thinking, like, we're always speaking to our athletes about communication, right? So it's going to be super important for us to communicate. Now, just my opinion, the head coach doesn't have time for that.
Right.
This is the assistant coach.
Exactly.
So that's on them.
Exactly.
You know, so I mean, we have it designed as much as possible for our head coach to take someone out and say, hey, can you talk to her about this? Or we already know, hey, coach, I got her. I'll talk to her about this. And, like, it just takes all that away.
Right.
Because, number one, you're not dealing with him. And I'm explaining, hey, you did a great job on this, but I think where he took you out is right here.
Right.
I mean, it just, and here is where assistant coaches have to be better.
And that's the thing
they
that that's the thing that I always point to. Like, why is it the assistant coach, you know, communicating that? And I feel like sometimes, unfortunately, the coach is on an island. And the coach doesn't communicate and have a system so those other coaches will understand. Sometimes I think assistant coaches are doing their own thing within what the head coach is doing.
At times. And sometimes, just being honest, assistant coaches don't feel like it's a safe space to comment.
Right.
You know, so, and sometimes it's lack of experience. And sometimes it's just a relationship. Like, I don't know you like that yet. I just got here. But I think regardless of when you got there or how long you've been there,
that needs to be communicated.
Exactly. and you have to have meetings within meetings. Staff meetings is, hey, what y'all see? You know? Like, I have found so many times that my assistant coaches that I have worked with have always had little small gems that I just didn't think about. You know? Or maybe I'm so fixated on the offensive side, they're seeing something on the defensive side. You know? So I can see why a lot of NBA teams, not even college teams, have an offensive coordinator, have a defensive coordinator. It takes that I don't want to say pressure, but it takes so much off
Right,
the coach.
right, and you're delegating and stuff. And here's what I will say. Under no circumstances do I want anybody listening to this conversation to think I'm only referring to high school coaches. What I have found within the last year is that it's not just on the lower levels.
No, sir.
It is on the college level where this happens, as well as the professional levels that this happens.
Yes, sir.
I was actually more shocked that it was on the college and pro. I mean, I understand you're going to have disagreements. I was shocked that it was the same conversation we're having, that this was going on NBA teams.
You know what? I've heard the same thing. And so to me, an assistant coach is bigger than keep track of my timeouts, keep track of the fouls. Like, you should be doing that in addition to, you know, and maybe you have one coach, depending on your staff and your budget, one coach really designated for that.
Right.
You know, and it helps players get a better grasp of communication. It puts them in the right space, in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and you know what? Your team's going to be better.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's crazy because in the NBA, you got like 400 coaches. You can't delegate one thing to each coach.
Agreed.
Even with high school coaches, I even understand it because you might have two assistants that will coach in other games and have to come in during your game. So, yeah, I get all of that.
Well, I don't get that. Me being from the high school space, the program is varsity.
Yeah.
You're developing anyway. If you're caught up in wins and losses as a JV coach and a freshman coach, you're dead wrong.
Right.
You know, you're dead wrong. What I try to really get fixated on is I'm trying to figure out how I can develop this kid by December to get him moved up.
Yeah.
That's
a great point.
That was always,
you
know,
I've
who am I moving up? And they're like, Coach, you know, I remember when I was at Americas with Coach Brooks, you know, we had a player get injured or something happened.
Right.
The varsity was kind of struggling a little bit. My JV team was, I think, 9-0.
Uh-huh.
And so he met me. I remember this like it was yesterday. We met, said, Coach, I don't want to mess up y'all's rhythm. I said, Coach, this is about the varsity.
Right.
I said, so this guy's ready. I've been talking to this guy for months, for weeks upon a time. Like, we need you to get you to play varsity. Mm-hmm. So when we scrimmage against varsity, challenge these guys.
Right.
That's going to put you in a space where, like, I don't care if it's a tournament we're not playing in, I'm going to make sure Coach knows that you want to play at this level.
Right.
And so it was a great transition and an easy transition for him.
Right.
He was our best player. So people were like, well, Coach, man, it's your best player. What you going to do? I said, look, I've got to challenge myself as if, okay, my best player's gone out. Now what? Right. I said, it's only going to make me better as a coach. You know, so, you know, I see a lot of assistant coaches not saying a word, not even cheering. Don't worry about it. Boy, this.
Hey, you got to understand over on this show, dog, you don't just be coming on my show like that, dog. It's one spot. No, you don't be coming on my show like that. You don't be coming on my show. If we outside and there's mosquitoes and stuff, no, you don't be coming on my show like that, dog. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do nothing. I was like, wait a minute.
Gentlemen, I never seen that in my life. I saw him eyeballing something. I said, okay, I know he don't got a gun on the show. What's it going to get?
Like, you gonna edit it out? Nope. Nope. They're gonna be like, yo, dog, he over here trying to kill flies. Hey, look, in the black community, you know how we feel about flies. Man, we don't be playing about the flies, man. I'm sorry, dog. No, you might say,
hey, listen, this dude is hilarious. You don't understand. Like, that's just one of the things he does. Like, that, oh man. Like, I almost moved my hand back. Oh, this.
Sorry about that, y'all. It might be a couple of more, but I might let them make it. But best believe after this, Oh yeah,
Listen.
he going down.
Listen.
He came in the wrong place, right?
Hey, listen, assistant coaches, that's a great example. when we got something that's hindering the program, we get rid of it. Take care of it. And I say assistant because I was speaking at that time. And so, wow, okay. Listen, man. Wow.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
that is incredible. Diabolical right there.
We're gonna move on. It's time for you to lost your damn mind. I should have waited because you know he done lost his damn mind thinking he gonna come on this set and not feel the fury of this flash water. That's what I should have did. If I'd have hit him, I'd have told him, man, you done lost your damn mind thinking you gonna be over here.
Oh my. Boy, I can't wait to see this. I cannot wait. This dude got me sweating here. I'm laughing so hard.
Okay, so we're going to get into you done lost your damn mind. I have a question for you because
yes, sir.
I was watching a football game and they was talking about how, you know, guys were tired.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me wonder, like, you know, well, the defense is they're starting to give up points because they're tired.
Right.
And it made me wonder, do basketball players have more endurance than football players? Who has more endurance? Basketball players or football players?
Man, not to be political, but I think basketball has a different type of endurance than football. To me, football is just more of a muscular endurance, and that's tough too, right? But to me, I've always seen football, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I've always seen football as very easy to find mismatches. You get 25 seconds to figure out what you're going to do every play. You got 16 coaches in the booth. You got so many. All I got to play is defense. You know what I mean? All I got to play is offense. I just don't see why you should be tired, to be honest.
And I think it goes to the way football is structured. There's a play. Then once the play is done, everybody stops. I've seen where when ball is hiked, if it's gonna be a pass play, there's blocking, and then once the ball starts to go in the air, the linemen just kind of stop. Right.
Absolutely.
They kind of stop, and then now it's all about the receiver and that DB. Yeah. They're the only two moving.
Yeah.
Basketball is constant motion.
Man, listen.
Constant motion. Oof. Right? Don't sit around. Don't pay attention and be still.
You get back cut.
And you get back cut. So
sir.
I would say, and it's weird because I always thought, like, and I'm not saying linemen. You know, linemen are linemen because they're big, they're hard to move. So that's what they need to be. But I would have thought that they would be a little bit more conditioned, because if you break down a whole series, like let's say a 97-yard drive,
right,
and you break down the actual time that you're actually moving, it's not a whole lot.
No, not at all. You know, like that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stop and go. In football, the best conditioned athletes is always going to have more success,
right?
In my opinion.
Now, let me ask you this then: who do you think are the best conditioned athletes in football? What, as far as defense?
Oh, defense.
Which position?
I am gonna say the linebackers and DBs.
I would say the linebackers, because the linebackers have to go
pass and run.
Yeah, they have to go sideline to sideline more.
Sir. Yes, sir.
DBs, they're gonna go long routes. They're gonna go short routes. Sometimes it might be crossing routes. Right. But linebackers are going to be going sideline to sideline. So I would think linebackers are probably the most conditioned. And if you watch, the ones that are huffing and puffing are mainly the linemen.
The linemen,
either the defensive tackles, offensive tackles, defensive lines, ends, stuff like that. Now, I think Garrett, what's his name? Miles Garrett is probably really conditioned.
He's different. He's just different though. But as far as the linemen, like especially the interior, like the guards and tackles, like those guys have to be careful about, and this is just, my thoughts. They have to be careful about really getting too much endurance because they lose weight, they lose their girth, and
I think that's I think that's what it is. There has to be a way. I know there was this thing that I used to look. It was like an oxygen deprivation mask.
Okay.
Where you could put it on and work, and it was supposed to have you work as if you're in a high altitude, and it helps your lungs. I think they should do something. With all the science, there's stuff out there. They should do something to actually help these men, because these guys sometimes are gassed.
Yeah, they are. And I'll say this also. Like, typically, your defense is designed to play 8 to 12 downs.
Every series.
Anything more than that, right? Or let's just say they played 8 downs, right? Couple series, it punts it, their offense turns the ball over, we're back on D.
Right.
And that's where they kind of get worn out. So they're conditioned to play so many downs, is how I see it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I heard a person say that the average defense plays 80 plays a game.
Wow. Okay.
80 plays a game is what they average.
I can see that.
And
can see that.
For example, the Cowboys and Giants last weekend game, they played almost 95, I think, to 100 plays on defense.
Yeah.
So you watch how they were moving, and it was just a throw fest.
Right. And then it's when those 80 plays aren't, you may play 30 back to back, back to back. And so, or maybe not 30, maybe 20 plus plays. So, man, definitely, I tell you what, that Cowboys Giants game, that was exciting.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was.
Man, regardless if you weren't a fan of either team, that was exciting game.
Yeah.
Exciting game. That kicking from the Cowboys is the real deal.
I was like, it's kind of like with Steph. They say, well, where's Steph Rain? When he get in the building, when he put up in the parking lot. That same thing with that kicker. Hey man, he on the freeway. What field goal is this? Oh, looks like a 670-yard field goal. Oh yeah, all right, we got it.
Listen, and then his story is crazy. Like, he was a soccer player, retired from soccer. So his wife said, "Hey, I think you need to think about doing this." He looked at her like, "Stop it." She said, "No, you need to start doing this.
Yeah,
you need to get into this." And look where he's at now.
And it's not like he's some big, like, what was the guy that used to, was it Janikowski?
Janikowski.
It wasn't like he was some big looking linebacker with some huge leg. He doesn't look much different than the other kickers. So it makes you wonder, anatomically, is there just something different about him?
Right.
Or is it just that he's just that guy?
Yeah.
Because sometimes
he just got foot talent, man. I mean, some people just have it. They know. I mean, just got power in their foot.
Yeah.
Again, I'll say this about basketball. I think there's more endurance in the game now than before, because you don't have the big wide guys like Anthony Mason, God rest his soul, Duckworth. You don't have those bigger guys now. Most of your post guys are very thin, wiry, athletic guys.
Yeah.
So there's not many of those guys. So your endurance has got to be on par, because teams now are playing so much faster.
Yeah.
They're playing so much faster, man.
All right, well, I think it was a good discussion. We didn't really argue for it. I think we want to go argue because we probably can see it differently than most people.
If I was a football guy, we'd be arguing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're a linebacker, I would say,
you got a point.
You got that. Hey, they need to get their ass on the track and run a little bit.
Right.
So let me do this before we finish.
Yeah.
I want to let's put out a poll for a game.
All right. Let's do that.
So, do you want to do? Well, we can do. Let's do the Sunday night game.
Okay.
All right. Let's do the Sunday night game.
Who's playing?
Oh Lord.
Who's playing?
Now, let's do the Monday night football game, because the game tonight is the Chiefs and the Giants.
Oh no, you don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go Lions and Ravens for tomorrow.
Where are they playing at?
They playing in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Now I don't do all that, over. Well, I might do over. I don't do all the points and stuff. I'm just more of a dog who gonna win.
Yeah, let's do it. That's easy for me. I don't have time to do
Who
all
you
that.
got?
I got the Ravens.
Yeah.
Ravens are upset from that first game with Buffalo.
Yeah.
They're still upset behind that.
Yeah.
They are out to prove a point. I think they are disgusted by continually getting right there and fumbling the bag, if you will. No pun intended. And I think right now their sights are really set on taking it game by game and getting to that Super Bowl. I think it's their time, in my opinion. I think Buffalo's great, but they're not better than the Ravens, and the Ravens know that.
Yeah.
I think also the Ravens secondary is upset. They are teed off because people are blaming the game on them and things of that nature. So yeah, you can look for Lamar and the crew to start dominating game after game for sure.
Yeah. So I'll say the Ravens as well. I think Detroit is still finding themselves.
For sure. It lost the offensive coordinator.
With the new defensive and offensive coordinator. So, remember, because the defensive coordinator is now the Jets coach.
That's right.
So
Aaron Glenn.
Right. So I think they're still finding themselves. Now, if they were still there, I would probably still put the Ravens.
I would too.
I would still say
that's
the Ravens.
how good they are.
I just, you just look at them and, you just want to pencil them in to the AFC Championship. So,
and just speaking on Aaron Glenn, man, I've actually had a chance to meet him. Friend of mine, guy went to high school with Ray Mickens.
Oh yeah,
Mick. Yeah, was teammates with him in college and the NFL. So I had an opportunity to meet him, but seeing him now, man, he's a great coach.
Yes,
he's a player first guy. He's a player's coach. People come to his house, he's watching film, and it's not just the stars.
Right.
I love what he did in Detroit. I didn't know all the ins and outs until they interviewed him. Man, it was a great interview. I mean, he's a fantastic guy.
When last time you talked to Mick?
Man, I talked to Ray probably about a couple months ago. Yeah, talked to Ray. Doing well, of course. His youngest son is a running back at Oklahoma.
Right.
And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, his oldest son either got on with a team or was on a practice squad. I cannot remember.
That's great.
But he was a safety at Clemson.
Yes.
Last year was his last year. So now he's a professional now.
Yeah.
So, great genes, but it's really all about the skill set.
Yeah.
Ray Mick has done a fantastic job. Daughter Cammie is in business, and his thought were, hey, we're doing business here, but you need to make our business better. So, I don't know exactly what she's doing right now, but big things. But shout out to the wife, Nicole Mickens.
Yeah.
Unreal, phenomenal mother. I remember she was handling the house while he was playing and going to different teams. Went to New England at one point and the Browns. So Nicole, we don't talk that often, but ma'am, love and respect for all that you've done.
Shout out
those kids.
We're gonna have to tag them on this. Find out a way to tag them so they can see
absolutely.
it.
For sure.
Yeah, Mick.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna leave it there. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let me know what you think about me trying to get that fly, man.
Man, that was
as soon as I say cut, it's gonna be furniture moving.
That was unbelievable.
I'm gonna get his ass. Sorry, mama.
That was unbelievable, man. Totally unexpected.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. They could be like, did he just put a fly swatter out and slam the table?
Look here. One thing he don't play about is his set, okay?
Yeah.
Well, we know that now.
Yeah,
whether you're a human or an insect.
Yeah, we've been doing this show. How many times you seen a bug in here?
Never.
None. So
never.
I don't know if it was in here from staff yesterday and just happened to be wandering. But yo, I don't play that. I'll blow the whole building up. I'll blow the whole building up to kill that fly, man.
This guy is so detailed about everything he does. You can tell why this business has been going on for over a decade, 20 plus years.
Oh my God.
I give it to him, man. Rain, sleet, or snow. If something he says gonna be done, it's gonna be done.
Hey.
In his mind, that fly was his, and he was gonna get it. You wait till we get off set.
Hey, I'm mad that I missed it.
Wait till we get off set.
Somebody gonna be like, yo, he must be getting old. His reflexes. Nah, I was trying not to beat the table up. I didn't want to crash the table up. So I was more thinking about the table than surprising him. But best believe I'm about to get his ass right. So, hey, we gonna leave like we always do. We hope you enjoyed this one.
This boy here.
If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. We out.
Peace.
Street cred sports, say it with your chest. Yeah, yeah. Go get it from the net. Street cred sports. Okay, that's a